and welcome to the Planning Hub. And today we are talking about photography, all things photography actually, and some tip-top advice from Whitewed approved McCallion Photography. Here's McCallion.
Hello.
So, how do you go about choosing the best photographer for your wedding then, Graham? Go through some top tips because it is quite a minefield.
Yes.
And sadly, there's a lot of people that actually perhaps shouldn't be in the industry, unfortunately, but there's a lot of great people. So how do you go about finding the right one and choosing and selecting?
It is a difficult one. My advice would be always trust your instincts.
Oh, yes.
You can't go wrong with going to a Whitewed wedding fair because they're accredited and approved.
Yes.
But generally from my side, it's a case of the selection is vast. There are literally hundreds of photographers out there, so just go and visit people and you will find out very quickly who you like and who you don't like. Pick one you like. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, because it's such a personal day as well.
Very much so.
And you're there with them from early until late, so it's important that you have that rapport with them immediately.
You might not know, but a photographer can make and also break your wedding.
Yes.
So it's a case of a little bit of research on this one as opposed to, oh, he's cheap, oh, my friend will do it. That's fine. If your expectations aren't great, then there's nothing to lose. I thoroughly approve it. I think it's a great way. You react better to a friend than you do to somebody you don't know. So part of my brief is always to get to know the couple before the wedding, and you're there to help, basically. That's the idea. And that's what a photographer does. It helps you with your day. And always remember, it's about the day.
Yes.
Photographs only remind you of a great day.
Yes.
Rule number one, have a great day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that we often find when we hear about the stories where there's been a low cost or unprofessional photographer is that they look back at their photographs and they're actually really sad by them, or something's happened, or they haven't been backed up, or whatever. And also, I think one of the key things to hiring a professional is getting those poses right, so that you have got a really lovely put together image.
Interesting point. A lot of my clients come approaching me saying, oh, we want natural photographs. And I'll say, that's no problem, I'll do whatever you want. Would you allow me 10 minutes to do what I want?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, okay. Yeah. And what I do is then we do some nice shots where you're standing properly and you're looking good. You've paid a fortune for the gown, just stand properly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I do is teach them how to stand so they always look good.
Yeah.
Therefore, the photographs will look good.
Yeah.
Always remember, girls and boys, the camera only captures what you present. If you present well, you look well. If you stand like a bag of potatoes, it's going to look.
I know you don't want everyone to stand like this.
Exactly. So, but a few, as we say, a few where it's a bit of control, a few fun shots, natural shots, laughing shots. In other words, the whole spectrum of everything on the day is captured.
And I think it's really important as well, although the trend is to go away from the more formal shots, to still have some formal shots, because let's face it, we do have grandparents that sadly pass away at a date in the future, or indeed other family relatives, and actually having a lovely formal photograph with all of your family members on that day as an occasion is really a lovely keepsake. So I think it's really important to keep that within the day's plan.
Yes.
I'm sure
the interesting part here, again, you've alluded to, is the time frame on this one. I am hearing stories where it takes a long time to do photographs. I'm not sure what people are doing. We generally say 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes to do the family shots.
Sure.
Is more than enough.
And when do you find the best time to do that family shot? Is it straight as soon as you get them back from the ceremony?
It purely comes down to logistics, because as a professional photographer, we're there to look after the couple on their day. So we'd like to minimise the impact of the time that the photographs will take. So if you're having a wedding at a church, we would suggest doing the family shots at the church because everybody's there.
Yes.
If we do it at the reception, you then have to wait for the last person to turn up.
And there's always one.
They're
always one. Where are they? Where are they?
I went home to feed the dog.
Yes.
So from my side, there are no set rules on this. It's a skill you develop. It's wherever viable is the whole thing. If you're having everything taken on the day at the same venue, then it's a case of once you get married, come outside, chat, mingle, and then we can get some great natural photographs of people coming along and chatting to you, etc. Really, really nice. And then at a certain point you can say, would it be okay to do photographs now?
Yeah.
So you probably see there's no set rule here, but then that's down to you and your photographer to work out. So.
Exactly, and I think it's also having that communication in advance to make sure that the scheduling is there, to make sure that you know who the best man is, who the maid of honour is, and getting all that right so you know who to call on during that time period. And I suppose the only other thing, sort of the biggest thing, especially for Whitewed members, is that ensuring that the photographer has all the right accreditations, that they are actually a photographer, that you do have the public liability insurance, and so on and so forth. I think that's a huge deal, especially in the photography industry. I'm sure
It's an interesting one. I can't comment. I've been in business all my life. How can you not be insured? How could you not be accredited? But then there are people out there who pretend to be photographers
Sure.
because they can buy a camera and do things. And then, unfortunately, some of the brides are suffering because of this. So again, girls, just trust your instincts. You'll know.
Yeah,
You'll
absolutely.
know.
And I think meet a few. And also, it's making sure that photographer that you work with, just the last point, is really happy to showcase their portfolio, happy to showcase their testimonials, because that really is a sign of a true professional, because they're proud of that. We were talking earlier about passion in their work. That really comes across in that case.
Actually, a little point I'd like to add, dress code.
Yes.
I'm hearing stories now of some photographers not being allowed into the venue because the dress code isn't appropriate.
I know.
Again, as a photographer, as a highly trained photographer, I was always taught you dress according to the people you're with.
Absolutely.
And if you go into somebody's wedding, it's a very special day. You think of the cost that the bride and groom and everybody's put into having their own outfits. I'm sure as heck going to dress well on the day.
Absolutely. And I do hear that, and I've actually seen for myself that a kilt appears as well, Graham.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, not all the time then, but
well,
sometimes.
no, again, it's not about me, it's about my clients. So I actually do ask, it's a recent development, I do ask, I've travelled the world in my kilt, I'm very comfortable in it, and even this lovely hot weather we've had recently, there was my kilt.
Absolutely.
So, but then, I don't know why, but the girls seem to like it. I don't know.
Yeah, but it gives personality and there's
Well,
your stamp,
it is
Graham.
me,
That's
so
what it's about.
yes,
That's what it's about. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing us your
My pleasure.
little bit of top tips, and we'll see you again.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.